collaborate and listen.
Hello everyone, I'm Vanilla Gregory. Welcome back to my channel. So, in this video, I will speak briefly about my hair journey because I mainly want to focus on the current state of my hair. I don't know how many videos there are on YouTube similar to this one, but I felt the need to share this part of my journey now because I'm itching to big chop again. After about 4 years of being natural, I decided to texturize my hair. I did it 3 times, specifically in March 2018, May, and then again like an idiot in June 2018. I texturized mainly the middle left side, so I left the back and I left my edges. So I start from here and I slowly work, not slowly, but I work my way to this side, leaving my edges and the back. Because the left side is the thickest and most coarse part of my hair, I thought it would basically even out my hair texture. I was already determined, so I was basically drawing conclusions based on the outcome I was hoping for. I had watched YouTube videos and what I took away from them was: number 1, your edges will be laid. Number 2, your hair will be easier to manage. Number 3, your curls will be looser. And number 4, you will have less shrinkage. In my mind, I was hoping it would help me tackle my shrinkage, even out my hair texture, show a bit more length, and also make my hair easier to manage. I also thought it would make it easier for me to transition from curly to straight and then back to curly. Yeah, that was stupid. If you texturize your hair and then straighten it, the chemical process alone is tedious. The texturizer breaks the bonds of your hair permanently, so then adding heat, not wise. I really tried. I would pre-section, apply the texturizer and rinse off immediately, and I didn't do my edges or the back, so I didn't really feel like my hair was texturized, and my ends were still natural, so you know, I didn't really feel like my hair was texturized. Like I said, I did it 3 times and then I stopped because I hated it. But before we talk about why I hated it, let me give a disclaimer as to the reasons why I would say it went wrong for me. Number 1, I did it myself. So if you insist, get it done by a professional. Number 2, my hair was quite long and for at the time it was bra length. So the time I took parting my hair within the sections alone allowed the texturizer to process for longer than I would have wanted. Number 3, texturizing it and then washing it in sections. Some parts got wet before I put the texturizer on them, so those parts process much faster because the water already loosened out my curls. Those are the 3 biggest reasons why I feel like it went wrong, and I got some really straight bits. And I didn't want to talk about it because I regretted it. I wanted to pretend like it didn't happen because truly I've set myself back like 4 years. At one point I had a huge line of demarcation right in the middle of my hair strands. It wasn't that bad. Some of my curls did come out loosened or stretched, so to speak. And at first it was easier to slip my hair because my roots felt less dense and resistant. But as time went on, I realized that the same reasons I texturized my hair were the same reasons I shouldn't have. These are the reasons why I hated my hair texturized. Luckily and specifically, because I didn't texturize all of my hair, I'm able to, I would say, accurately make these comparisons. Texturized hair is dry, lifeless almost. It looks and feels cooked, fried, sizzled. No matter how much product or water I applied, what I ended up with instead was high growth fatigue, which caused me unnecessary breakage and shedding. I want to say I feel like it stunted my hair growth, but I'm not a trichologist, so I can't definitively draw that conclusion. But what I can say as a matter of fact is that I definitely struggled to retain moisture and length in the areas that I texturized, and it made my strands much more porous. Texturized hair is not the same as natural hair. Different strands will respond differently to oils, moisture, and products depending on how natural they are. It's impossible to maintain a consistent curl pattern. One could argue, because I did it myself, that is why I experienced this issue, but first of all, have you been to a typical Nigerian hairdresser? Not the ones that specialize in natural hair or braiding or weeks or whatever. They use relaxer, texturizer, hair dye, or whatever the case may be in for a minimum of 30 minutes. Like, I've literally finished doing shuku with expression in the time that customers sat there with relaxer in their hair talking about my hair's pretty strong. So as far as I'm concerned, texturizing your hair in Nigeria is basically the same as perming it, because they leave it on way too long. They apply it to the whole hair strand and they proper comb it out. Like, come on. Even if you went to someone who knew to only texturize your roots, leave it on for less than 5 minutes and not to stretch or comb your hair whilst the texturizer was processing, sadly, you would still have some inconsistencies. Based on the different processing speeds of each hair strand, the application speed and the accuracy of timing. Like, there's so many factors the first time, and then you have to do exactly the same thing again and again and again every single time. Think about it, especially in Nigeria, with the sun, storage, piracy, you could be buying a packet of texturizer that's been in the shop for months. That's if it's even real, or if it's the same batch as the one that you previously bought, which may or may not have been real, which may not have been the same formula, which may not have been exposed to sunlight, which may not have been in the shop for like months and ages. And then you have to apply it and rinse it off exactly the same way as you previously did, exactly the same way as you always will for the rest of your life, no matter how long or how thick your hair grows. Can you do that? If you plan to keep your hair short, go for it. Otherwise, honestly, texturizing your hair is not sustainable. Like, it just won't work. Manageability. The reason I thought I texturized my hair was to make it more manageable. Sadly, inconsistently processed hair doesn't really go hand in hand with manageability, because like I said before, each hair strand will respond differently to water, oil or products depending on how natural it is. Especially if you're dumb like me and only texturize certain parts. I experienced a lot of shedding, and upon reflection I feel like the struggle to manage different hair textures played a huge role in this. I feel like it's even better to just perm your hair and know that that's the journey you're on, but if you're going to be natural, be natural. Learn your hair, love your hair, be patient, and honestly it will reward you. So this is going to be part 2 of my natural hair journey, and I'm transitioning because cutting off 2 inches at a time is painful enough. Because the ends of your hair are the weakest part, and I'm trying to retain as much length as possible so I actually see some growth. If I just chopped off all the texturized hair that's doomed anyway, then I would expose my new growth and it would start splitting. So I've been regularly chopping off about 1 inch or 2 at a time. So the plan is to keep you guys updated on my transition journey, show you how I transitioned so quickly, and the products, styles and techniques that didn't work for me and the ones that literally saved my strands. So yeah, keep an eye on this space. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Collaborate and